Andy Johnson, Minnesota State University. This is part 2. We're looking at how to teach and document performance-based standards. Remember, keep it simple. Step 1, identify exactly what the standard is asking for. And then you have to teach it specifically. Teach the performance-based standard over time. All right, I'm going to give you examples of this, but it is not a one-shot deal. You should teach the standard several times, and when students demonstrate they have got it, or most of the class has got it, then you document. But ideally, if students don't have the standard, don't understand the standard, can't perform the standard, it is your responsibility. You need to teach it. I find it with performance-based standards, do them in large group first, many times, then do it in small group in pairs, and finally have students perform the standard individually, and at that point you should be ready to document. Example, standard 1, all right? Identify main ideas and supporting details. This is taken from Minnesota Academic Standards. Main idea, I keep it very simple. Read a book, what's the main idea, and some supporting details. This is a web and brainstorm with a paragraph, with expository text, or narrative text. You want students to demonstrate and document. Keep it simple. Rigor is not the same as complexity. Ideally, students would have a portfolio of some sort where they could keep their demonstration. Example again. Students will be able to retell made events or ideas in sequence. Now, you can have some stinking standardized tests, or you can teach the cognitive process, thinking skill, ordering. Teach these specific steps. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3. Do it in large group, small group, individually. Then ask students to brainstorm interesting or important events, then put them in chronological order. This is an orderizer. Keep it simple. This is from one of my books. If you want to do a Google search, Andrew P. Johnson, social studies or thinking skills or literacy. All right? Orderizer. Keep it simple. I would simply need then to put that in their gosh darn portfolio to demonstrate to the bean counters that yes, indeed, this individual student can do that. Always ask yourself, what exactly is the task? What is the standard asking for? And there are many different interpretations of the standard. Don't think standards are interpreted universally the same. Then say, how will I teach it? Break it down into steps. How am I going to teach this? What exactly is it? How will students then demonstrate that they are able to do the standard or perform the standard? And then how do I document that each student can perform the standard or do it? Example, students will be able to make predictions. Here's the thinking frame. Identify what is known, text clues, decide what might happen based on text clues. We would do this many times in large group, and I can do this in kindergarten and first grade. I can make it more complex for high school and even college students. What will happen next, boys and girls? Let's think of 3 clues that might tell us, and they would list this and you would write it down, and then they'd make their prediction based on that. Prediction is different from guessing. Prediction is making a guess based on clues. All right, I would just put the gosh darn predictograph into students' portfolios. Bingo bango, they can do it. Simple. Rigor is not the same as complexity. I should have a book with that title. Students will be able to compare and contrast settings, ideas, or actions. Here is the thinking frame. Blop, 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 and blop. Okay. I would use a comparison chart if we're looking at books or themes or events or characters. I have them list the similarities there and the differences there. They put that in their gosh darn portfolio, and there you have it. Keep it simple. Students will understand ideas not stated explicitly. That is inference. Here are the steps. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4. And I would use the inferogram. Here are some clues in the text. Here are what I know about this. Here's my best guess based on text clues and knowledge cues, things I know about. All right? And again, I'd put the inferogram in, and I can include as well a checklist. And again, I like to have students rate themselves, but then I would rate them as well. Outstanding. You don't need a complicated rubrics which defines each level explicitly, for goodness sakes. We are about teaching and learning. We're not about having this absolutely precise definition of what outstanding is or very good is or average. The goal is to learn, teach and learn, not to measure and compare. That is the end of these two short